G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I'm down here at Haberfield and I've decided just to go for a walk along the Bay Run course, and it's a beautiful still afternoon, as you can see, and a wonderful place to be. I've got a few weeks off work, so I thought I'd just spend some time alone where possible to just catch up on my thoughts and to progress my love of Jim's 5am Club and to publish as much material as I can when I can. I don't have as much pressure anymore because I've reached my thousands. I've reached my initial massive goal, and now I do it just to pass my time and to express myself and just to maintain the skill that I've generated and keep it humming along. Today's episode, we're going to focus on a book summary entitled The Relationship Curve by John M. Gottman. John M. Gottman. And this book is basically a book on, I guess, connecting with other people and what you can do in order to look for the clues, the cues that people are trying to connect with you, and to respond in kind, so that you can maximize that opportunity and satisfy the other person and build a stronger connection and relationship. The author kicks off with a quote where he says that connecting is not magic. There's no magic to connecting with people. Like any other skill, it can be learned, practiced, and mastered. So that's a very encouraging point from the author. A call to action that it's not magic. Some people aren't better than others at connecting because of some magic that they have, but they have learned over time the skill and they've practiced it. And when you practice something and you stretch it and you bend it and you try different aspects, then you're going to master it as well. So there's an invitation for each and every one of us to become better at our relationships and better at connecting with the people around us by practicing, learning, and mastering the simple steps that the author will present to us. But the author also says something which is something that we all need to understand and to appreciate, that no two relationships are the same, because no two people are the same. We're all different. We've all had different pasts. We're all going to experience a different present, and we're almost certainly going to drift off and head into a different future. So it's important to understand that no two relationships are ever the same. The relationship you have with your partner, your current partner, your wife, or the relationship you had with your ex-partner or ex-wife is never going to be the same as a relationship that you're going to have with your current partner or other partner if you are fortunate enough to reconnect again. So what worked with your previous partner or what works with your current partner isn't going to necessarily work with any other person. So it's important to understand that there is no recipe, there is no specific recipe for any particular person that works. What we need to do is we need to be inventive in each relationship and identify what works in that relationship at that point in time. So we need to be nimble, we need to be on our feet, but we need to understand the basics, and the author helps clarify those basics for us. So the author has three key points that they elucidate in this book. And the first one is that we need to know what bids are and how to use them correctly to become closer to others. So what's a bid? So the author raises a point called a bid. And I guess from my perspective, a bid is when you do something to try and connect with somebody else. So it's an action or something that somebody does as an invitation to treat. You bid for their attention. You bid for a response. So when it comes to relationships, the author says, bids are important. So we need to understand a bid in order to be better at managing and getting the most out of the bids and out of the bidding process. So a bid, according to the author, I suggested what I thought what a bid is, but the author takes it one step further, and the author says that a bid is an attempt to emotionally connect with someone, either verbally or non-verbally. It shows a desire for connection. So people can respond to a bid by turning towards it, turning away from it, or turning against it. So we're constantly in a dance, a bid dance with the people around us, where they're doing things consciously, subconsciously, verbally, non-verbally, to capture our attention and get us to respond. And we need to be alert to those bids in order to decide whether we're going to turn towards it, which means acknowledge it, turn away from it, turn our back to it, to not acknowledge it and let it pass. Or the third thing is to turn against it and to respond in a negative way. So people are flirting all the time, people are chatting all the time, people are preening themselves, doing something from a body language perspective, and it's all done with a particular purpose. And that purpose, as the author suggested before, was for us, or to enable us, to be an enabler, for us to emotionally or physically connect with the person, the people, the community around us, or the environment, be it that way as well. So it's hard to know and understand what people really want. I love that one. It's hard to know and understand what people really want. So be careful how you respond to bids and requests. And this is one of the challenges that we face in relationships, where men just want to have a chat to ladies. You know, you're walking along the road and you just try and get their eye contact just to say hello. And yet, the ladies or people keep their eyes and don't allow eye contact, with their glasses, looking at their phone, looking away, because they don't want to get into that bidding contest, so they just turn away. So the next point that the author makes, which I think is really, really interesting as well, is that all bids have a hidden message about what they really want. Because sometimes we're able to tell people directly what we really want and what we're really thinking. But most of the time, from what the author is suggesting, is that people have a hidden message about what they really want, and it's sometimes obscure. So everybody, each and every one of us, need to try and identify and understand and decipher what that message is. And that's what makes life so interesting. So the author then takes it to the next level, where they talk about children. And say, for example, you're in the shopping centre and you see a child all of a sudden throw a tantrum. And that tantrum about, you not buying them the lollipop could have something deeper, and most probably it does. So when people overreact to circumstances, what the author here is telling us is that there is something deeper to that overreaction. There is something deeper to what they're telling us than what meets the eye and what you see on the surface. So when people are feeling sad, angry, or scared, their bids sound more like laments or criticisms. When you've got people sometimes and they're always criticising, they're always cranky, they're always complaining about a particular situation. What the author is saying to us here is that it's not that particular situation that's eating away at them. There's something much, much deeper that we need to try and understand and identify. Now, we need to dig a little deeper to find out what they want and focus on the bid beneath the surface so you can build a better and stronger connection and turn toward their bid rather than turn away from it. So what the author, I guess, is suggesting here is that sometimes we need to ask a few more questions and be a little bit more open to our friends and family when we're chatting, and be a little bit more observant to what they're saying, how they're saying it, if it's whether or not it's congruent with their body language, and with everything that's being said and done. So what the author here is once again reminding us is that we all need to be psychologists to a certain degree, to work with our family and friends and try and support and help each other by being on the lookout for the bids and to try and turn toward the bids wherever possible and pay a little bit more attention and to try and read between the lines. So the last point to come out of this book is where the author talks about when expressing your needs to others, make sure you use soft language. I guess one of the challenges, sorry about that, the challenges we all face is that sometimes we can be far too direct with the things that we say and our behaviours that, I guess, frighten people, scare them off, turn them off as well to a certain extent. So what the author is saying here is that if you're making a bid to somebody, we need to be subtle and we don't need to spook them to get their attention. So it's important to know exactly what you want so your bid is clear in your mind. So this is a very, very important lesson to each and every one of us, and I love this. I absolutely love this lesson, because what the author is saying here is that unless it's clear in your mind what you want in your life, unless it's clear in your mind what you want in your job, unless it's clear in your mind what you want in your relationship with your partner, what you want in your life, what you want from the people around you, then if you don't know, then chances are that you're not going to be able to clearly articulate it to them or express it to them in your body language, in your suggestion, and in your mannerism and I guess the way you hold yourself out. So the author here says it's very, very important that you know exactly what you want and what you need, and to not be wishy-washy and say that you need too many things, because I remember many years ago when I used to work for IBM, one of the directors told us, we did an opinion survey, and everybody went down and said, we want more money, we want more career opportunities, we want this, we want more education. They just listed so many things that they were unhappy with. And the director said that if you list far too many things for the other person to address, you're going to turn them off, because they're going to get overwhelmed with all the things they need to do to fix a situation and to make you happy. You're better off focusing on one or possibly two things, the most important one or two things, and letting them know this is what you need to do, or this is what we need to do to achieve what I want to make me happy. And that way they can focus all their effort and know exactly what they need to do. The problem is, as we said before, is that we overwhelm people with the complaints. I don't like this, I don't like that, blah, blah, blah. And people just don't know what to do to help you. And when you're always whinging, you're always miserable, you're always complaining when you're out with them, then there comes a point where people just get sick of you and they just give up on you. That's the reality that we all need to face and understand. And the older you get, you lose your sex appeal, you lose all of that currency that you have as a young person, and you could find yourself isolated and lonely is the big risk. So we need to learn here, and this is the next point, that at a brink of an argument, when you feel as if you're about to start arguing with somebody, ask yourself what emotional need is unmet. What emotional need is unmet in me, and what emotional need is unmet in the person who I'm about to argue with. So be gentle and sensitive is the author's final point with your responses. Be loving with what you say and what you do. And at the end of the day, as we all know in life, nobody owes us anything. No, we're not entitled to anything. What we get in life, what we receive in life, we need to be humble and appreciative for what we've got in terms of our friends, our family, our health, our work. Because what we've got today, what we've got at this moment, we may not have tomorrow. So nobody owes you anything, and you don't need to be aggressive, you don't need to be rude, you don't need to be obnoxious, you don't need to be overly opinionated about any topic, because sooner or later what you'll realise is that you're losing the valuable friendships that you have around you, and it's all your fault. So settle down, back off, and try and understand the way you bid and the way other bid, and to learn to turn towards the bids that other people are making, and be sensitive, be mature about how you deal with the people around you, because everybody has unmet emotional and physical needs, both conscious and subconscious, that we need to try and address and to help, and to be partners. As we say often on this 5am club, we need to learn how to partner with each other for each other's growth and development, to be the wind beneath our wings. So I think I'll leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's a beautiful, beautiful, glorious afternoon. I just can't believe that this is winter. The sun is baking me at the moment. There's not a breeze. I can hear some birds in the background. I can hear some cars from a couple of 100 metres away, going backward and forward. But it is peaceful. It is a beautiful place and a great time of year to be out and about. So thank you once again. Let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's make the most of this life that we have and learn to value and make the most of relationships. And hopefully we all got something out of this book called The Relationship Cure by John M. Gottman. And back off. Don't be too aggressive with each other. I noticed just the other day how you see a couple of things on Facebook where people talk about their exes, and they bring it into a public forum, which is sad, because it's not going to help anybody by bringing out your old problems and your laundry. Just try and understand that we all have unmet emotional and physical needs in the world, and some people just need a bit of help and a bit of understanding. We all do, because we're all growing and developing, and we're all beings who want to be connected and feel very, very bad when we've finally disconnected from a social circle or people around us. So yasas, take care, and we'll chat again from this glorious, glorious day. I can't believe it. It is beautiful. Take care. Yasas from Jim's 5am Club. Bye.